He's not going to run unless Biden passes away, as I suspect might happen. But I don't
He's not
wish
going to
that
run
on him.
He's not going to run.
I agree.
Biden is going to be the nominee, and we're all going to suffer together.
We're not talking about what's going to happen if Biden's still around. If Biden is still alive, if he has a pulse, come November next year, he's going to be the nominee. You keep saying that. Listen,
Biden's going to pull what I call the Woodrow Wilson model.
Hey, listen. You call it whatever you want.
No, the Woodrow Wilson model. So
he's going to get across the finish line and then die, is what you're saying.
No. I don't think so. I think he's going to pull the Woodrow Wilson model, which is he's going to become president again, get inaugurated, go through all the normal stuff, and then if your theory is correct, he's going to get sick, get old, and he's just going to hide in the White House, and then Joe Biden's going to run the country. Because that's what Woodrow Wilson was the president during World War One.
Yeah.
He had a stroke.
Yeah.
He was not seen, but it actually turns out he was in a wheelchair and couldn't speak. For like 3 years, he was president, and his wife ran the White House and ran the country. And I'm not saying Joe Biden. I'm saying Joe Biden's like
cabinet. Yes,
are going to run the country.
This is why
But I don't think that's actually going to happen.
Here's the thing.
I really think he's going to like survive.
I mean, I wish the best for the man. Okay, if he's the only president we got, I want him to do the best job he can do. But
he's doing a good job to me. He could definitely be doing a lot better, and I have a lot of complaints.
Here's the problem, okay? If my house is burning down, you do not care about my 401k plan when my house is burning down. You do not. Yeah. If I'm beating my wife, you don't care how nice the dinners I take her out to. Like I'm still a wife beater.
No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, so like there are things that supersede doing good things as a president that he is fundamentally failing at. Like this whole kerfuffle in Israel-Palestine is kind of emblematic of my entire problem with a Biden presidency because it doesn't matter till it matters. People talk about how, well, we're really voting for the cabinet. The cabinet don't matter.
I'm voting for climate change.
Here's the problem. No, you're not.
I understand.
If you're voting for Biden, you're not voting for climate change.
No, I'm saying that Trump is going to destroy the environment and Biden is at least paying lip service to
it. You
have a different calculus to voting.
Wait a minute. Because you're talking about, okay, are we going to die in 5 years or 10 years? Because
No. I'm talking about, are we going to die in 30 years or are we going to die in 150 years? That's what I'm talking about.
I'm glad you're more hopeful than I am because I'm not hopeful.
I mean, Donald Trump passed a bill or like they signed an executive order that allowed coal companies to pollute rivers again. Like he's the worst ever. It's like he's like
Biden has been playing nuclear chicken for the last 3.5 years.
With who?
With Russia.
What you think Trump was doing with Korea? Talking about my button's bigger than your button. You forgot about that?
Here's the problem, okay?
He hasn't been playing nuclear chicken.
Yes, he has.
Because he funded Ukraine, or you're saying because they haven't come to the table for negotiation.
It's not about funding. Okay, so here's the problem that I have. Right, it would be one thing if we were just like, all right, we're just going to use this as a proxy war, and we're just going to fund Ukraine, but we're not going to actively sabotage. If they decide they want to stop, whatever. We gonna run the clock out. No, we have been actively interfering in every opportunity for peace since this war kicked off. We have been actively engaging in what I would call like terrorist support. Like we have been letting Ukraine do stuff that will precipitate Russia responding not to Ukraine but to us. So Ukraine has on more than one occasion launched some missiles across the border with our stuff that we gave them.
To Russia?
Yes.
I agree with that.
Okay. That's Russia. That's given Russia.
So what you're saying is, I don't know, Elliot. Okay, let's talk about this at the end of the show here. You're saying Ukraine, who has been invaded, should only attack the Russians that are in Ukraine.
Wait. I'm not saying that.
You're saying it's nuclear chicken if we give them missiles and then they launch them into Russia,
Hold on. I'm saying it's nuclear chicken because Ukraine did not have the ability to attack Russia with missiles until we gave them to them.
Yeah, I think we should have.
Wait. No.
Why?
I'll tell you why. There's a couple of reasons. The first reason is if me and you are walking down the street and you see a guy and the guy comes up and punches you in the face.
Uh-huh.
I will jump in with you. We can jump the guy together. But if I pull out a gun and shoot that guy right there, that doesn't work.
No, that's not what's happening. I'll give you a hypothetical to match.
I'll give you the same example. If I pull out my gun and hand it to you and say, shoot him.
No. So what's happening is you and I are walking down the street.
Yeah.
Guy pulls out a gun on me.
Yeah.
And starts shooting at me. Yes. Not you. So you duck off behind a fence and you throw me a gun.
Yes.
And then I start shooting back.
Okay,
That's
wait.
what's happening.
Okay, but the problem is, I didn't throw you a gun. I threw you a small backpack. Like, I threw you like a bomb vest.
Yeah, you threw me equal weapons to what they're throwing at me.
No, because Russia has been ramping up. Like, this has always been the problem, okay?
And you saying that we gave Ukraine more weapons than Russia has?
No,
I know you're not saying that.
Wait. I'm not saying it's not about more weapons than Russia has. It's about more weapons than Russia is using in the conflict. This is kind of what my... Wait.
Okay.
Let me...
I'm listening.
If you give me like 2 seconds, I'll try and explain what I'm trying to explain, okay? My problem always has been, if you're serious about trying to maintain peace in the world, which we are not,
I agree.
You do not encourage wars to accelerate and to
continue.
Increase.
Yeah.
When you tell someone else, "Hey, listen, I need you to I need you to increase your attacks on the home front of that country," you are giving that country, even if it's only lip service, you're giving them the ability to say, actually, we think our war is really with the US, and kick it off. And the rest of the world can then be like, I mean, they kind of right, though. And that's...
Well, I disagree with you, but I'm hearing you.
Wait, you're saying, but why is BRICS as popular as it is? Why is the quote-unquote global south going with Russia and China? Why is everybody divesting of the US dollar? It's not because the US dollar isn't still valuable. It's because when we actively continue to stoke war and to make it harder for peace to reign against the will of most citizens in our country, as well as most citizens in the rest of the world, like, everybody else starts to look and say, well, I don't really think the US is right. I don't really think we can rock with the US. And that's a dangerous place for us to be, because the longer we look like the bully, the more we look like we're sending out our little brother with a gun to shoot people so that we have the plausible deniability, the more pipelines we blow up and act like we didn't. So the more dangerous is going to be for us, because like what Israel is seeing right now is like, if you mess around with your perception on the world stage and you're doing things that kind of give the other people some pause to say, are you really right? Like, maybe you're not doing what you're telling us you're doing. Maybe you're not actually the good guys in this scenario. Like, it goes like that.
I hear you, but I think that, there's an argument on the other side to be had that if we just allow big countries to just bully small countries, are we really supporting freedom and peace in the world? Because if Russia invades Ukraine, in the same world, we would have said something to Israel too, because they're just wilding at this point. But no, let's stick with it. We're not going to get to Israel today.
You're right.
If Russia invades Ukraine, and then we're just like, well, we don't want them to think that their real fight is with us, so y'all just get wrecked. Sorry. Like, I think that equally is wrong. So to me, I do think that this has become a way for the military-industrial complex to just make a lot of money. And then, for whatever reason, we're not using none of this profit of selling them weapons to pay off the national debt, but whatever. So the problem is, I think that this is what I would have done if I was president. I would have sold them the weapons. I would have created a better mechanism of tracking those weapons. Then I would have tied those weapons to peace talks. Because I do think that it is unfair for us to not come to the aid of Ukraine, especially considering we promised them that we would support them.
We need to back up. Here's the problem, okay? You're kind of doing the thing where you're like operating from like one point and you're moving forward, but you got to go back even further. So I hate to give Donald Trump any credit ever, but if you go back, the aid that he got impeached for, I think it was the first time he got impeached.
Yeah, the Ukraine aid.
That aid was specifically tied to them being able to defend against Russia, okay? When everybody made a big deal about them not getting the aid.
Which they should have gotten.
And
that maybe would have slowed us having to give them money. They might have been better prepared.
No. That aid was because we were telling them, hey, you can't make peace with Russia.
No.
You don't. Wait, you're saying no?
No, the aid wasn't given to them because Vladimir Zelensky wouldn't start that or announce the sham investigation into Joe Biden.
No, that was why Trump didn't send the aid.
Right.
Okay.
Now, you said the aid.
But then after the whole Trump kerfuffle happened, Trump signed off on the aid going.
No, as soon as they started the impeachment inquiry.
No.
Yes, he signed on it.
No.
Elliot, yes. Look at the timeline.
I know what the timeline is. What I'm telling you is, they announced the inquiry and he signed the aid.
Yeah, like literally the same day. Yes.
The aid didn't go after he signed for it to go.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
The aid didn't go for another 6 months.
No, the 6 months was before the impeachment. That's why they impeached him. And then as soon as they announced the impeachment, he's like, okay, I was just kidding. And then they sent the aid that day immediately.
Okay. What you're saying is, they sent the aid immediately. They didn't send the aid immediately.
Okay.
He signed for the aid to go.
Well,
but then there was a bunch more conversations with the Secretary of State and a bunch more conversations about, we're going to give you this aid, but we need you guys to hold strong against Russia. Then after Trump was out of office, they're Russia invaded almost immediately after Trump left office, right?
Okay.
Then we continued to sabotage peace talks. So Russia invaded and they said, all right, we'll leave. We just need y'all to stop letting the U.S. run y'all's foreign policy. That's what we need. Because we don't feel safe.
So a big part of this was Vladimir Zelensky, who's the president of Ukraine, was asking to join NATO.
Yes.
And so when basically his request was denied, request was denied at the United Nations by NATO, basically. And when it was denied, he announced publicly, joining NATO was just a dream. And I realize now that dream is not going to be fulfilled. They invaded 2 days after he publicly made that speech saying that we're not getting in NATO.
Okay.
But I guess your assumption is that he wouldn't have invaded if we wouldn't have been antagonizing?
I'm going back to the fact that they had a peace agreement years and years and years ago, and we tanked it.
Who?
Russia and Ukraine. Where basically Russia said, hey, listen, we came in, we took the Donbass, we are bad, but listen, we feel really unsafe because y'all keep going to the United States and you keep going to NATO, trying to join NATO.
Yeah, because you annexed Crimea in 2009.
I hear you. And I think the problem that I always have is we should take a, hey, Russia, you shouldn't do that stance. But the reason we can't be strong and actually get support from the international community is because we keep running up into places and annexing places and saying, hey, we're going to run this till we don't want to no more.
You're saying we can't get support, but we have support. All the countries that signed on to the assistance and they're giving money and everything else to Ukraine.
How much money are they giving?
I don't have the exact dollar amount, but it's not just us. It's mainly us. I'm being honest. And I'm not, and I want to make sure I'm clear.
It's 80 to 1.
I don't think that America is good on foreign policy. I think Biden, in my opinion, has actually been pretty good on foreign policy. That's just why I'm surprised. Because one, he got us out of a war. He's the first president in how many decades to do that?
Again, you're
Two,
saying.
He has, as multiple wars and conflicts have happened under his presidency, he has not sent troops to basically physically fight in these battles. We're not he dropped airstrikes, but I think by 91%.
Here's what my worry is, okay? I think that's too simple a formulation because sure, he's not sending troops, which is great. Sure, he's not starting new wars directly.
And ending wars.
Wait.
He ended a war.
Wait. You're saying he ended a war, which I don't even disagree that he ended the war in Afghanistan.
Correct. Okay.
My problem is what he's doing actually making us safer internationally?
That's a fair conversation. That's fair.
When you say, okay, he's ending wars and he's good on foreign policy, I just disagree. He's good at the specific things we can point to. He pulled us out of Afghanistan. That was good. It had some controversy.
A mess. But I think it would have been a mess regardless. I don't care who. I feel like it would have been a mess regardless.
I think it would have been a mess regardless too. But the problem is, it could have not been.
It could have been better.
It could have been a mess where we still saved all of the lives
and all the equipment we left.
But the reason we don't is the same reason everybody is absolutely squeamish about us actually doing any kind of tracking of all the weapons that we're sending over there. Mm-hmm. And, in my conspiracy brain, I think they want to be able to wage war wherever they want to. And they're arming all kinds of dissident groups so that they can start a new war every time they run out of steam on whatever existing war. That's why this whole thing with Israel is giving me the hives on my back, bro. Because it just feels like the same feeling I got when we had 9/11 back in the day. Where like, you know, and I was super young, but it felt like everything, you know, when I go back and I watch
Things
the videos,
are falling apart. Yeah.
it's not even things are falling apart. It's like nobody who has the power to actually like promote peace is doing anything to promote peace. And I don't understand why. Like it doesn't, nothing about it is logical.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody even attempted to try and explain our current foreign policy, I don't think you can do it. So much so that you got people in the government who have these jobs who are just quitting. They're just like, listen, these mugs are not only doing a bad job, they're doing such a bad job, I can't work here.
Yeah, you know. So maybe in a future show we can talk about what I think is going to be a ugly war in the Middle East between Israel, the U.S., and all these countries on Israel's side, and a lot of these Arab nations like Iran and Jordan.
Here's all I can say, man. I hope some cooler heads prevail. I hope some people either
Israel vote out Benjamin Netanyahu, please. You got to get rid of that war-hungry monster.
But listen, you know, we can't get like
we can't say that much.
That's what I'm saying. We can't get a 80-year-old to actually get elected to presidency.
And if anyone on the Republican side happens, they just want war anyway.
I mean, I don't think
all of them.
That's actually not true.
Who on the Republican side is anti-war besides like Matt Gaetz?
That's one.
Yeah, but he's a
Byron Donalds.
I don't know who that is. Is that the black guy?
Yes. He's one of like 3. How do you not know who he is?
He's like a cuck. He like goes out there and embarrasses himself and flails around on the ground for all the white Republicans.
First of all, listen, okay, even if you don't like the man, you gotta at least put some respect on his name.
No, I don't. You go, okay.
He's had
what's his name?
Byron Donalds.
Yeah. I just saw an interview with him when I was at the gym. Go on YouTube and type in Roland Martin interviews Byron Donalds.
Yeah.
And watch Roland Martin spank him with his hand.
I mean,
he hikes him over his knee.
Pause.
Because it's like, he basically was saying, oh yeah, I'm the candidate for black people. So Roland Martin went down this list of all these all these things, and he said, hey, this is at whatever % popularity among the black community. Where do you stand on that? Oh, I don't like that. I don't support that. Paid family leave.
Here's the thing. You can't
voting rights bill.
If you're gonna be a black Republican, you can't be like, "Oh, I'm the black Republican for black people." Like, you
like,
really
bro, we already know who you are. You don't. You are token, and that's if that's the lane you carving for yourself.
Carve that lane, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But then don't pretend like all the black people sent you. Like,
nah, we didn't send you.
We don't know you, bro.
Us. Right.
And he's a clown show. I watch him regularly. Actually, I don't know his name, but I know who he is. He goes out there and he.
I mean, I agree with you.
Toes the company line.
I always got to be careful because I be like accidentally almost making these Republicans seem reasonable, and I don't be trying to. But there are anti-war Republicans. There is a wing of the Republican Party that is anti-war.
Well, let me ask you this. You say he's anti-war. So you're saying he's going to vote against the Republicans with the Democrats if we go into war?
Wait.
No, he's not.
I wouldn't say Byron Donalds would. I would say Matt Gaetz would.
Matt Gaetz might.
Yeah, him and Ron
he voted
Paul,
with Donald Trump like 95%.
Here, him and Rand Paul, who's not really a Republican, he's a libertarian, I believe.
He's a Republican.
Rand Paul is not a Republican.
He's barely a libertarian. He voted for the tax cuts for the rich. I don't want to hear none of that.
Because he's a libertarian.
No.
Wait. Hold on. This is a real important distinction because coalition building is important and you got to agree with people.
You can get with him on things like legalizing marijuana and...
you talking about Rand Paul
anti-war.
or Matt Gaetz?
Yes, Rand Paul. But outside of that, he's voting everything with the Republicans.
Yeah, but there are other things that you could get Rand Paul on board with. You could get on board with Rand Paul on.
If Nancy Pelosi will let it come to the floor, maybe you could have.
I mean, Nancy Pelosi's not the speaker no more.
I said, if Nancy Pelosi would have. I think that's what I said, actually.
Past tense.
But
I don't think that's what you said. It might have been. But
I think that's
we right here. Yeah. We right here. I think that's a good place to end it. This has been the Pensive Brothers podcast. I'm Elliot.
This is Aaron.
And we are out.